Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Foreplay. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles.
Hey, guys.
We are your podcast hosts, and we are excited to be bringing to you a really important episode going into the summer months.
Yeah, this is so important, guys. But we're super excited. Again, this is Wellness Foreplay. We come to you with one topic at each episode and answer 4 specific questions about that topic. But for me, I'm a former police detective. You?
And I am a former family wellness chiropractor.
And so we decided that we wanted to come together with our expertise and do the investigations for you to present some knowledge that we believe would be helpful in your optimal wellness journey. It'll be the foreplay to the decisions that you make. So we hope that you're in the mood for another episode today. So thank you again for joining us here on the Wellness Foreplay, episode number 29. It's all about hydration. Yeah, this is such an important topic, guys. And by the way, did you know that the season, the time of year can have a difference in what your hydration status might be? But we always answer those 4 questions. So let's talk about what those 4 questions are. First of all, we are going to be answering, why is being hydrated so important? The second question is, what can cause dehydration? Question number 3 is, how can you tell you are dehydrated and what could happen? And question number 4 is, what are the best ways to stay hydrated? So, all right, are you ready to get going here?
I'm ready. Let's get going.
All right, well, let's hop in here with question number 1. Why is being hydrated so important?
Because being dehydrated is so horrible.
It's so bad for you. Just so you know, it's so bad. Did you know that you can go a really, really, really long time without eating food, but a really short amount of time without water? Yeah, there's reasons why for that, right? So for one thing, I'm going to share with you, I'm just going to read the statistics or the percentages of different organs inside of our bodies that require water to function the way that they need to be able to function for you. So first of all, up to 60% of the human adult body is made up of water. That's 60. That's more than half, guys. So your brain and your heart are composed of 73% water, and your lungs are about 83% water. Your skin, the largest organ of your body, contains 64% water. Then your muscles and kidneys are about 79%, and even your bones, you know, your hard, dry bones, right? They're actually pretty watery. There's about 31% water that goes into your bones. And so I know that there's different stages. You want to talk about the different stages of water in
There's different stages of the needs for water in your body. And the first stage is when you're kind of swimming in it. It's the embryonic into the fetus stage. So when the sperm and egg came together and made you, and your DNA determined what you were going to be like, for those 9 months that you were developing, you were in amniotic fluid. You had a much higher need for water during that time. In fact, it was incredibly important for your survival. Then once you're born and you start the growth process goes to about the late teens, depending upon the individual, perhaps into the late 20s, where you stop growing vertically and horizontally. Once that stops, then the next phase, the last phase of life, the aging phase kicks in, and you have a different water demand in your aging phase than you do in your growth phase, and a different water demand in your growth phase than you do in your fetal stage. But there's 3 phases of life where you have a water need for all of them, but they're slightly different. The fetal stage, the growth phase, and the aging phase.
Yeah, and the fetal stage, basically the fetus gets the water from the mama.
Yeah.
So the mom's really got to pay attention to how hydrated she is, right?
Yeah.
So there's reasons why it's crucial for us to drink enough water. Can you go into some of those reasons why? I mean, I already shared the organs and the importance of keeping them hydrated so they can function fully. But is there anything else you want to share on that? Because
we are made up of water, most of our body the majority of it is water. It's very, very important for normal cell function, which means normal organ function, which means normal system function, which means normal you function. It is all predicated on hydration. In other words, how hydrated are your cells? And as we were starting, before we went live with this, we are going to take a deeper dive in a future episode on the science of hydration, because There's an incredible book, and I'm going to reference it in this episode, but it's called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. And it was done by a medical doctor, Dr. Batman Gedage is his name. And just unbelievable, the scientific detail that he goes into. And so to answer your question, every one of our cells needs to be bathed in water. And it's based on Dr. Batman Gedage's theory that he wrote the book about, but we need water. Water is incredibly important for every single reaction in our body to take place. To take place at highest efficiency, we need to be hydrated. We need to have a high water concentration in our body. And when that starts to go down, we start to become hydrated. Our body literally starts to break down.
Yeah. So basically some of the reasons why we have to make sure that we stay hydrated. First of all, drinking enough water helps to regulate your body temperature. You want to make sure that you don't get too hot or that your body temperature doesn't fall too low. It helps to keep your joints lubricated so you don't have the aches and pains that you might experience when you're dehydrated when you're hydrated. So drinking enough water is so important for that. How about helping you to prevent infections, helping to deliver the nutrients to the cells, and to keep, again, your organs functioning properly. So that is all of the reasons, well, not all of them, some of them. We're going to take a deeper dive into the pool later on another episode, but why it's so important that you are hydrated, okay? So,
well, what you were just mentioning, and this kind of came to me, every single reaction that happens in our body, every time a cell communicates to another cell, it doesn't go, hey, cell. It's not something audible. They don't literally talk to each other via something that what they say one thing and the other cell hears it. Cells don't have ears, but they do have receptors. They have what are called electrochemical receptors. So there is electricity, bioelectricity from cell to cell. It's how they communicate. I mean, think about, you've seen in movies, what happens if somebody is in a bathtub, like in one of the slasher films, and they're in a bathtub and somebody plugs in a radio and throws the radio into the bathtub. What happens to the person in the bathtub? They die. They get electrocuted. What are they in? They are in water. Water is a very, very, very good conductor of electricity. So the more water you have in your body, the better and more efficient the electrochemical communication strategies are in your body, which is the main reason you want to stay hydrated. So the electrochemical response and interactions of your body are critically important for normal hydration. To have normal hydration in order to have normal reactions, and when you have depleted water, you have depleted chemical communications, electrochemical communications. And when that happens, you're already on a downward spiral.
We all know what happens when communication processes break down, right?
When communications break down in any capacity, we've got chaos.
Then you got knocking of the heads going on. So you want to make sure you stay hydrated so the communication can flow properly. Yes. I love that. Thank you. All right. So let's hop here into question number 2. And that is, what can cause dehydration? There are so many different things, guys. First of all, just not drinking water. And how about if you're not feeling well? Diarrhea, vomiting.
Not good.
Huge expelling of moisture, right? Expelling of that water from your system when you have those two things happening. And then if you sweat a lot, whether it's just naturally you're a sweater, or if you exercise a lot, or you live somewhere that's really, really hot so your body, because that is a natural process. Sweating is a natural process to help, again, regulate your body temperature. And so if you are not replacing what you are sweating out, then you're going to lead to an imbalance of the necessary moisture, and you're going to have very negative results. Okay. Some other things. This is something that I learned because I haven't had much experience with diabetes or the symptoms or the early identifiers, but I read that frequent urination and excessive thirst are among the early symptoms of diabetes as well. So just something to keep in mind there. And another thing that I learned, I know that our skin is so important as that barrier for our whole bodies. It's our largest organ. It is really that first line of defense. And so when you either get burned because of a chemical burn, a fire burn, or even the sunburn, right? Anything to where you have created a problem for your skin, it can no longer take control and and really kind of balance out the amount of moisture that is being released. So damage to your skin can also lead to dehydration because it can't maintain or control the amount of moisture that is being released through that damaged skin. That's huge. And then again, the inability or your failure to drink water is probably the biggest things there.
Especially because people think when they add stuff to water that they're just drinking water. When they filter this little ground brown stuff, when they filter it through hot water and they add some cream and some sugar, they call it coffee. They're thinking they're drinking water. They're actually drinking something made with water, but it's no longer water. So that doesn't count. That actually acts kind of like a diuretic. It actually pulls water out of your body. So you don't want that. You want just water. So if you mix a tea bag in it, it's still not water. You add anything to water, it's no longer water. It's whatever you added to it. That's the thing. So don't count that in the measuring sticks we're going to give you on how to evaluate whether you're taking in enough.
Yeah. And yet I'll tell you that in one of the coming questions, we're going to say something that kind of seems like it's contradictory to that. So just hold on.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
You know, it's interesting. One of the things that I hear about people, especially now, we live in Arizona. It's about to get triple digits. And one of the biggest reasons why people say they don't drink enough water, they don't like it. Yeah. They don't like the taste, or they just don't like drinking water, which is why they add other stuff to it to make it more so that it tastes better. Big, I mean, it is very common, but it could be a big error in what you do.
Well, and there was also, you talked about medications and like you said, so medications can be diuretic.
Yes.
Coffee can be diuretic.
Yes.
Drinking soda, caffeinated drinks, and even carbonated drinks, they can be diuretics, right? And so that's actually removing more moisture than you're actually getting from the drink itself. And so it's not a positive. You're not getting as much as you're losing. Let's just say that you're losing more when you consume those types of things than what you're getting. So you have to really counter that with drinking more water. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got that question under control.
Yeah. So because when you're drinking things made with water, they become diuretics. You're tapping into your water reserves, which are primarily your cerebrospinal fluid, which surrounds your brain and your spinal cord, and then all of the joints in your large joints. They have water in them. That's where your body taps into when it starts getting dehydrated. So you don't want to be doing that. Don't take the fluid off your brain.
Yeah. You know what? And I've got to say one more thing too about a lot of the things that we just mentioned that you can drink thinking that you're hydrating yourself, is that there's another component that goes into most of those drinks, and that's sugar. And we're going to be doing an entire episode in season 2 about sugar because it is basically, it's your nemesis.
Yes, it is.
It will kill you. Sugar will kill you.
Cancer and sugar are really good friends.
Yeah. So any of you out there that, love soda too much or anything that's sugary, sugar is not a good thing. So let's move on to question number 3. And that is, sorry, do you have something
No,
to
I was
say
just saying,
first?
but that doesn't mean that sugar-free things are good for you.
No.
Sugar-free things can be worse than sugar, like way worse.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
And we'll talk all about that, but we're just talking about sugary stuff, period. Let's just say sweet, sugary, anything added is not going to be your best friend. So question number 3 is, how can you tell you are dehydrated, and what could happen when you're dehydrated? What could happen? How can you tell?
You know what the biggest way to tell? When you go number 1.
Yeah.
The color and the odor. If it's stinky and it's yellow, you're dehydrated, my friend.
Or if you're not going very much.
Yeah, if you're not going
very frequently, you could be dehydrated. So those are really the early signs of dehydration, and being thirsty, period.
Yeah.
If you wait to drink until you're thirsty, you are already well on your way to being dehydrated. That's why you need to make sure that you carry something with you all this time. This thing goes with me everywhere we go, and I fill it up over and over and over again with water, because I know how important it is, especially in the heat. Like we said, seasons can make a difference in how much water you consume as well, because you'll be sweating out more, right? And if you're living in a more dry climate compared to a humid climate, there's so many things that go into the considerations for how much water you need to drink. Now, progressing dehydration signs can be dry mouth, lightheadedness, like if you're woozy, You could be dehydrated, guys. How about muscle cramps and heart palpitations? Those can be all signs of a more progressed dehydration that's going on inside your body. And you're getting to a danger point at that point. So you need to make sure that you stop whatever you're doing, you hydrate and evaluate.
Yes.
If the lightheadedness goes away with some consumption of some good clean water, and I would say room temperature water, because room temperature water will absorb much better what you need than cold water.
Yes.
And you can speak more on that because I used to be a cold water girl all day long. But
it may seem more refreshing in summertime, but it's actually not. It's actually taxing your body before your body has to cool it down or warm it up before it can actually utilize it. So room temperature water is much better for you. It may not be as refreshing to your mind to drink, but it is way more refreshing to your body to drink room temperature water when it's hot outside, rather than add a bunch of ice and drink something that's cold. Let your body perspiring cool you off rather than something taken inside that's cold.
Yeah. And if you actually want to do a little bit of a self-test, you can have a glass of water that's got ice in it, and you can have a glass of room temperature water, and just time yourself and see how much you can drink of each one in a certain amount of time, like in a 5-second time period. Because you will be able to drink a lot more of the room temperature water than you can the cold water, because your body is going to have a reaction to the cold water, and you won't be able to consume as much. And so that will also be a restriction on how much water you end up drinking. You'll think you're drinking more because you're drinking frequently, but you're not drinking as much when you're taking those drinks.
True story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
good job.
Okay. Hey, thanks. Okay. So let's see. What else have we got here? So that is the signs. So what could happen? So we have a lot of great topics on this episode today. A lot of great things to talk about. We already talked about vomiting. We already talked about diarrhea. So what can happen now if you get severely dehydrated or you're dehydrated for a longer period of time? Have you ever gone to the bathroom and it's been hard to go? It hurts. Yeah.
When you're straining.
Or you don't go to the bathroom as frequently as you should. And when I say go to the bathroom, I mean number 2.
Oh, you're talking number 2.
I mean, laying down the deuce. Okay. That's what we're talking about here.
Let's just be real.
Guys, seriously. And this is so important, guys, because even from a very young age, we have got to make sure that we are helping children understand the importance of drinking water. I mean, even our granddaughter she wasn't drinking enough water. And I just told it to her straight after she tried to go to the bathroom. She's like, that hurt. I'm like, oh, sweetie, you got to drink more water. You don't want your poops to hurt. You got to drink more water. Right. And so now she's like, Grandma, I need more water. I need more water.
She said she knows the difference.
She knows the difference, and she knows the consequence to not drinking water.
Yeah.
Because there are, some big consequences. And that pain right there is a sign to you of something that could become a much bigger problem. So make sure you're paying attention to what it feels like when you go number 2, right? So that's a big one. And then think about abdominal pain. That can be a sign of being dehydrated, and can come with severe dehydration, as well as cramps. Oh, stomach cramping.
Muscle cramping in general.
Yeah. Any type of cramping there. And you want to talk about the skin aspect?
Yeah. Before I do, I want to get back to the dehydration with regard to number 2.
Okay.
Your number 1, when it's dark yellow and it's smelly, that's a sign of dehydration. But you can see dehydration significantly in both types of trips to the bathroom. So number 2, there's actually a reference, and I encourage you guys all to get it. It's called the Bristol scale, Bristol. And you can just look it up on Google, and it's 1 through 7. There's 7 phases or stages depending upon, but you want to be in phase 3 or 4, stage 3 or 4. 1 is dehydrated, 7 is what got you there. So 1 is very small, very hard, like goat type poops, little pellets, which is you're severely dehydrated, and the other opposite end is diarrhea. So you want to be right in the middle, phase 3, 4. So that's just wanted to give you guys a visual reference. So get the Bristol scale, download it, print it out, and take it with you so you can start evaluating your hydration level. So now the skin
or just
thing.
take pictures of your poop when you go, and you can refer to it when you get back to your Bristol
text your
scale.
friends.
Don't post it to Facebook though, guys. Don't post those photos. We don't want to see those.
Or put it in your story so it goes away after a while.
Although you might get a lot of attention. I just don't know if it's what you want.
You may get banned. I don't know.
Okay, let's get it.
You didn't hear it here. But back
it.
on a serious note, your skin is also a very good indicator of your hydration level. So let me just share this one thing. So your skin, when it is dry, when it is itchy, when it's ashen color, you have an inside out problem that is manifesting itself on the outside. But don't fix an inside out problem with an outside in remedy like lotion. Lotion, moisturizers, and those things are only putting a Band-Aid on the real problem. The real problem is you're dehydrated. That goes for chapstick. Same thing. If your lips are chapped, it's largely because you're dehydrated. So drink water and then put chapstick on. Don't put the chapstick or whatever your brand is. I happen to be pretty partial to chapstick, but it's not because my lips are chapped. It's more of a habit that it's developed. But anyway, yeah. So I don't want to get off topic.
We're
but
addicts.
With
We're
your
chapstick
skin
addicts.
and even with your eyes, if your eyes are dry and you're adding eye drops to your eyes, drink a big tall glass of water. Room temperature water, and then put eye drops in, then put your chapstick on, then put your lotion on if you're going to use lotion. And if you just started with water, you're going to probably realize you don't need as much, if any of those other things.
Yeah, but I do have to tell you guys straight up, it's like drinking one glass of water is not going to take care of that issue. If you've gotten to the point
solve the problem
to where your lips are dry all the time, you've got the gray ashy skin, and you think you have to put lotion on all the time, or you're using eye drops, more than likely you are dehydrated, and it is going to take you some time to get your body back.
A couple weeks to your body to adapt.
Because that water that you're going to start drinking is going to go to the vital organs first. Yes, your skin is a vital organ, but it's not going to be one of the ones that gets that water the very first. So just think about that don't expect just, I'm dehydrated, I'm going to drink one glass of water. No, you need to create a new habit around drinking water to create the solution to those issues.
It's like going to the gym on January 1st and getting one workout in and thinking, and you go home and you go, oh my gosh, my biceps and my chest, they're not huge. I don't have washboard abs, because it takes a new habit. Same thing with water. When you start drinking properly amounts of water, you're going to go to the bathroom a lot more, which you're probably not going to like.
In the middle of the night, maybe even too.
Yeah, get out of bed first.
Yes, please. Oh gosh, this episode, guys.
Well, you started it.
I did.
So with regard to the water, so you're going to be going to the bathroom more, both 1 and 2. You may not like that, but your body has to adapt. It has to get used to your new intake protocol of drinking water, which it will slowly taper off. So go by just go by what we haven't even told on the protocol yet, as far as how to evaluate how much water is perfect for you. But we're gonna end or get toward the end. We're gonna talk about that. So it's unique to everybody, because it's not just the 8 glasses of water per day. No. That may work for somebody who's 5'2" and weighs 100 pounds, but it's not going to work for most people. We'll give you a very specific way that's going to work just for you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's hop on over to our 4th and final question of this episode, and that is, what are the best ways to stay hydrated?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so let's talk about the amount of water. And first of all, let's talk about the water, right? You want to make sure that you're drinking a good, clean water. You want to drink something that is filtering out as much as possible of the sediments, the chemicals, or anything. Yes, anything that may have been added. Yeah, so alkaline water is like, we love that. Alkaline
water, yes.
Yeah. And then what are some other options? Obviously we go and we have bottles that we fill up every single 3-4 days because we drink enough water, but it's just important for you to be getting some good quality water too. More than likely, if you're drinking the water that just comes through your tap from the city, you might want to take a look at that. It may not be what you want to be putting into your body.
But to your point, it would be better to drink the water right out of your tap
than not drink
water at all. So and there are some ways to make water more palatable. Every morning we squeeze a full lemon into a glass of water and we drink it warm. We add a little cayenne pepper. It's amazing for a liver detox. It's also an amazing way to get hydrated. But you can add like cucumber slices.
Oh, we're getting there too. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You can do that. Infuse your water with fruit.
Yes. Infuse your water, because if it tastes good, you're more likely to drink it. Some of the things that we absolutely love adding to water: lime slices, orange slices.
I love cucumbers.
Cucumber slices are amazing. Ginger.
How about strawberries?
Strawberries.
Even pineapple. You can even
Pineapple,
anything that's a fruit
cantaloupe.
or vegetable that you enjoy, you could slice up and you could put into your water.
It's endless what you can do. Kiwi.
And what's really cool too is that you could start the day with the fresh slices of either the fruit or the vegetables inside of your water. And if you have something like what I carry around or what Don D carries around, right? You can leave that stuff in there and just keep filling it up with water, and it will continue to infuse the water throughout the day. Okay. So I wouldn't leave it in there more than a day, but
also you can add mint leaves.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Fresh mint leaves.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I like to do though, before I add the mint leaves into the water, rub the leaves together a little bit, and it just kind of releases the flavor a little bit before just putting the leaf in. Just a little pro tip there. All right. So now let's talk a little bit, again, carrying a reusable water bottle so that you're never looking for the actual vessel to put the water into, because you might be out and about and get thirsty. You can find water, but you may not have something to drink out of it other than going and buying a water bottle at the store. And we really want to caution you on that. Yeah, because water bottles, yes, we want you to drink water, absolutely. But the plastic that they use for those water bottles is not good. There's so much toxic chemical that leaches into the water that when you consume it, it can create other issues. But again, if you're going to not drink water because you don't have any other than that, would rather you drink the water. But one thing you have to be concerned about is that those water bottles get set out sometimes on loading docks, sometimes in trucks, sometimes just warehouses where it gets heated up to a point to where that chemical process release happens so much faster into your water. If you could guarantee it's never been heated up to a certain amount, it wouldn't be as much of a concern.
Next to impossible to do.
Yeah. So just make sure that if you can drink out of metal, drink out of glass. That is the best. The BPA is good.
BPA free.
And keeping it
or glass
cool.
bottles. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. So let's talk about how much you should be drinking. So half of your body weight in ounces is the average, right?
The average.
That's like the starting point.
It's a great starting point.
Yeah. So like if you weigh 150 pounds, that would be 75 ounces of water that you need to consume every single day just to keep those organs hydrated.
Yep. And if you're on the metric system, sorry, we can't convert that off the top of our heads. You got to do that yourself.
Sorry, guys. And then with that water consumption, depending on where you live, if it's hotter temperatures and drier temperatures, you really need to look at increasing the amount of water you're consuming. And if you work out a lot or sweat excessively, up that intake again. Okay. You need to drink more water when you have those conditions in your life. And then make sure that this is something we're talking about going to the bathroom so much on this episode. It's making me laugh, but you really need to think about replenishing what you release when you go to the bathroom as quickly as possible. Right. So after you go to use the restroom, come out, drink a glass of water. Or as quickly as possible afterwards, just to maintain that balance again inside of your body of the hydration levels.
And it's also, if you happen to be somebody who dreams a lot, or you wake up when you roll over in bed, I keep one of these like this on my nightstand. Every time I wake up, drink some water. Drink 8 to 10 swallows of water. I'm not counting, but you just drink water all the time, even when you wake up from in between a dream, go right back to bed. Yep.
And then anything that you're trying to make improvements in, track it, right? So whether you use a pen and paper and you just mark it down how much you drank, when you drank it, so that you can keep track of how much you're drinking on a daily basis. Or, hey, we're in a technology day and age, right? Why don't you just download one of the free apps out there for hydration tracking? If you've got Fitbit, there's one. If you've got an Apple Watch, you've got a tracker. All kinds of different tools out there to be able to help you track. The only thing is you have to make sure that you add in the amount of water that you're drinking personally. It doesn't just do it for you automatically. But it's important enough to put this on your list of priorities on a daily basis.
It absolutely is. And there's something I want to, as a reference to, it's called the rule of threes. And it's how important your body's requirements are for these things. And they happen to have a 3 in all of them. So with regard to oxygen, you cannot go more than 3 minutes without there having irreversible damage to your brain if you completely shut it off. So you obviously don't want to do that. Now with water, it's 3 days. So 3 days your body can live without water, but not much more beyond that. And 30 days for food. So you don't ever want to go without drinking water or breathing air or eating food for a prolonged period of time. But that's the extreme example.
Mhm.
Some people don't even remember the last time they drank water. They go, I had a cup of coffee, I had a soda, I had a whatever, but it's water we're talking about. Half your body weight, up to 75 to 80% of your body weight in ounces every 24 hours, just to stay hydrated and during all seasons. It's very, very important.
Yeah. And one of the things that we've confused over the decades is that when we get a pain inside of us and we've been programmed to think it's a hunger pain, more than likely it's a thirst pain. And so try drinking your water first. And that can also help you with some of those weight gains that many of us battle with on a regular basis. So drink your water, drink your water, drink your water.
And what you just said is actually the premise of Dr. Batman Gedge's book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. The subtitle is this: you are not sick, you are thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medications. And his initial paper, that was where this book came from, is so well referenced scientifically, which it's, like I said, we're going to do a scientific episode diving into that book and giving you really statistics that's going to blow your mind about water and what you can do when your body's giving you symptoms, whatever it is. Go drink some water and you're probably going to help it on some level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we are super excited to have shared episode 29 with you today.
Yes.
It's all about hydration and the importance of it and how you can do it and how you can know if you are not hydrated. So please, guys, reach out to us, dondandmarcy.com. Would love to hear from you. Would love to hear your thoughts about the topics. Give us topic ideas if you have them, and any questions that you have. We are more than happy to help you. And again, if you need prayer, we'd love to be able to help you with that too. And you can send your request there at dondandmarcy.com. And that leads me into our next episode, which, guys, our next episode is going to be the final episode of season 1. And so we're super excited about the topic. We cannot wait to get you activated in it, as well as just have you invite everybody you know to join us for the final episode of season 1 of the Wellness Foreplay episode, or podcast episode. It was rolling off my tongue so well there for a minute.
It was great. Keep it going.
Maybe I need to take a drink. All right, guys. Well, have a great day. We appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for joining us today on the Wellness Foreplay podcast.
And if you have to go pee, because you should after listening to this episode. Bye, guys.
Oh my gosh. You're hilarious.